Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome again to another class of information technology for logistics. And thank you for coming again. Sunday night is a bit challenging, right? Okay, so today I want to continue on some of the modules that exist in the ERP systems. And okay, so first off, let's open the website that we had last time. All right, so I'm gonna open mine. I think mine is called Tech08 because that's the leftover one. Okay, hopefully my data still exists, right? Okay, we still have things here. All right, so today we're gonna go into the purchase module. Okay, so let's think about the problem here, right? So last time we kind of play around with the accounting, which is still, we'll still go into accounting today, but in the context for purchasing. So when you open a business, I guess it's unavoidable that you have to buy something from the suppliers. So let's think about that, okay? How do we purchase things and record that transaction, okay? Today I will talk mostly about in the accounting side, which you pay someone, right? And you have to kind of keep track of your payment and your debt, for example, right? But then I guess next time we'll talk also about when you purchase something, actually your inventory is going to be affected, and that is another big topic in the ERP system, which is inventory system. Okay, so today more like accounting. And for that, let's talk a little bit about this diagram here. Okay, not this one. I'm gonna go to this one. You can look from the slide from the projector, or you can look at it on your screen too. Okay. Okay. So let's think about purchasing something. Let's say you are purchasing raw material for 10 baht, for example, right? When you pay for something and you get something back, what's going to happen in your accounts, right? And think of and just want to remind you that we are talking about double accounting. So that means that if something goes up, something has to come down. You cannot just write, I have stuff in my inventory and that's all, in my account and that's all. You got to have balance, right? And I guess the simplest thing is this one, right? Think about this. If you're paying something for something, then your bank account is going to decrease by 10 baht, right? But then your assets actually doesn't change in the simplest case. If you just pay for something and you get something back, actually your stock increases by 10 baht. So I guess when you are purchasing something and there's no other expense like shipping, or is there like other things that you have to pay for service like delivery service, actually your asset doesn't change. You're just converting your money into your asset. That's all, okay? So let's do that real quick in our inventory, right? You can do, I mean, right now you have the ability to record such transaction. So let's just remind ourselves and go into our system and let's do that, okay? So I'm gonna go into my instance, and I'm going to, so first thing, let's just go into your chart of account so that we are aware of what's available in our accounts.
This is the page. I have to change the password.
You have to change the password?
Yes, that's the only thing I could do.
Okay. And what's going on here? You go here and you go to switch desks. There you go. Okay. Yeah, that's the quirk things about this software. I don't know why it's always default to that page, and I always have to go to switch to desks. Okay. So if you cannot see this page, let me know. You have to click your icon and go to switch to desks. Okay. So let me just remind you. There's a chart of accounts, right? So this one will tell you, how many, I guess, how many sub ledgers that you can put your transaction into. So let me just expand them, right? So I want to specifically look at the assets first, right? So your assets, you have what, right? For example, you have cash, you have bank account. So that's something that's already there. You can create more bank accounts if you want, right? And actually check this one out. There is also stock assets, right? And then there is stocks in hand, okay? So let me just let's just create a new account that take care of your stocks, okay? So I'm gonna go here, and then I'm gonna add child, right? Remember, this is the same process when you wanna create new account, right? So I'm just gonna the name can be anything, but I'm just wanna keep track of my raw material. So maybe I can say raw materials, right? And then the account type can be, I guess, doesn't really matter in this, I guess, in this exercise, and it can be just, I guess, let's just do stock adjustment. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll just do current asset. Okay. So the thing that the thing that I'm thinking is that some of the account types have special restriction for journal entry. So if I shoot things incorrectly, then this exercise might not work, right? But keep in mind that you don't have to do this in the end, right? Everything else can be going to be taken care of by other processes. But I just wanted you to do like the most basic thing first. So let's just create new account called raw materials, and then let's try current asset as the account type. Okay. Assets. You good? Okay. So let me just create new account first and show you what happened. Okay, like that. Okay. So make sure that you have new accounts in your stock assets. Okay. I just want something to keep track of our stock values. That's it. ใช่ไหมฮะลองสร้างชื่อแบบ raw material ก็ได้ครับจริงๆชื่ออะไรก็ได้นะครับมีประเด็นได้ครับได้ช้าได้ครับแล้วก็ไม่ต้องทีก็ได้ครับเดี๋ยวมัน append ทีให้เลยครับแล้วก็ account type น่าจะเป็นผมลอง current asset ก่อนก็ได้ครับน่าจะอยู่ตรงนี้อันนี้ก่อนแล้วก็ create new ครับโอเค All right, so let's buy something, right? Again, I just want to remind you that when you buy something, it's a process of transferring your money from bank account into your stocks. So because I guess your assets stay the same, it just changed the form from money to stocks, right? So I'm going to go to journal entry, right? So this one is for, making transaction in your accounting systems, okay? And again, I'm going to add journal entries, right? And the thing that you have to make it balanced is this guy right here, right? So for example, let's just move things from your bank account, right? And let's say you are paying something. So let's say if you're paying something, it has to decrease. When things are decreasing, it goes into the credit side. You remember, credit decrease, debit increase. Has nothing to do with credit cards, I think. I don't understand. I don't know what the connection is, but credits mean going down. So your bank account is going down by, I don't know, just come up with a number. Doesn't really matter in this case, okay? And on the other side, something has to increase, so it goes on the debit side, right? So you add another row. And now we're going to go to the raw materials. Right? And then I guess the system kind of fills this in for you automatically. It has to be balanced. Okay? So let's just hope that this one works. So I'm going to go saved and submit. Voila, you're done. Okay, so that's basically the kind of like the overall effect of buying something. Okay, but I want you to think about this process for a bit. Like, is it enough when you are actually buying something? Like, what do you think? Like, what is the limitation of this approach? I think the question is too abstract. Like, let's say you're trying to keep track of your business, right? And if this is the only way that you are going to keep track of how you purchase things, what do you think can go wrong? Could be, yeah. True. I mean, it's too easy, basically. It's just one document, right? What do you think like, what else would you need if you are, want to keep track of your purchase, right? Yeah, receipt, right? You might want to, keep track of your receipt, right? And the receipt is actually come from payment, right? Okay. What do you think? What else would you need if you are a business owner? Yeah, delivery. Like, yeah, I think you mentioned it last time, right? If you're buying something or you're selling something, the action of paying money and the action of receiving the stuff doesn't have to occur at the same time. Like, you might want to pay later. Or even more complicated case, you might want to pay in chunks. Like, you might want to pay twice. Or maybe when things are delivered to you, they might not deliver at one time. They might be delivered like multiple times. It happens. So with this, you kind of combine every processes, like, for example, the invoice, right, the payment, and then the delivery of the goods in just one document. So this one doesn't contain enough information, I guess, for you, the business owner, to keep track of things. And also when things, has more steps, this one cannot accommodate that, right? So that's why I'm writing in here that here. Like, first of all, like, I don't even know who am I paying. Like, there's no records of who am I paying, right? And then if I want to pay, and then I want to keep track of when things come to my inventory, like, it doesn't have to be at the same time. Sometimes I want to pay first, things deliver later, or on the other case, right? And then there might be, and I guess it happens all the time, that things are coming in multiple deliveries, or you can pay in multiple terms. So that kind of thing occur very frequently in the business. So how do we expand this process into a more, I guess, complete flow so that we can keep track of all of this, right? I'm just going to throw you the solutions because there are many ways you can do, right? But this is the way that I guess most businesses choose to do, right here, okay? So first, if you're going to buy something from the supplier, usually if you're a business, you want to buy in bulk. It's most like a business-to-business deal, right? You're not going to just buy one thing. You're buying things, a lot of things, right? So you are making a purchase deal. And this deal just means that you agree on the price, you agree on the quantity, and usually you agree on the delivery date. And I guess the name that we are using in ERP Next system is called purchase order. So the term in blue is the terminology in the software. But I mean, what it means is that you make a deal with the supplier, right? And then from this deal, you have two choices. So the first choice, I guess the first process is to actually about money, right? So first, your supplier is going to ask for your money, right? And they are going to send you the contract that binds you to pay. And usually that's called invoice invoice ก็คือเปิดบิลเขาเรียกว่าเปิดบิลเนาะ so we are calling this purchase invoice in the software right so this is something that you receive from your supplier okay and once you get the purchase invoice that means that you are liable to pay the supplier and you can make a payment right actually paying and the term that we're using in the software is called payment entry okay so all of this is going to be the document that you create in the software to reflect this process okay and the good thing about separating into the invoice and the payment is that you can pay multiple times you don't have to pay all at once you can pay in chunks that's the beauty of it right so the money is taken care of right the next thing I guess that doesn't have to be the next thing but the other process that can occur is the receiving of the goods right and the term that we use is called purchase receipt okay and again you don't have to receive your goods once just once you can receive it in multiple delivery too just meaning that this thing has to I guess sum up to the deal that you made which is a purchase order okay so that's the flow that occur in ERP next and also in other ERP system they're also using this flow this process flow too okay so let's let's explore this documents but I want you to kind of work backward to see how each document works I guess I want to try this process of teaching so normally I would teach from left to right and I feel like it's too fast so maybe I'll try right to left this time just bear with me okay so let's say you don't have any of this right you just want to pay someone you can also creating the payment entry so let's do that okay so I'm going to go to payment entry list again if you want to find from the main menu it's probably in the accounting I'm not even sure I always search for it okay payment entry so you haven't paid anybody anything so blank right you are going to add payment entries okay and look at the type there are two types I guess three types but we're going to use receive or pay so let's say you want to pay someone pay your suppliers you're going to pay like that okay and the date it's you can change them right this is the mode of payment okay there are many modes and each of the mode you have to link your account into this mode right now we haven't done that yet but so the only thing that works right now is cash so let's pay cash first we'll explore other mode of payments later on let's do cash okay and then who are we paying to so that is the first question that I mentioned in the diagram right so this one allows me to say I want to pay my supplier okay and the party is the actual name of the suppliers so right now if I click here there's no supplier so again you have to create the supplier that you want to pay so that we can keep track of like how much we pay that guy something like that right so let's create new supplier like that and just type your supplier's name for example I want to do supplier A just for an imaginative name you can choose anything you want and I mean you can choose whether he is or that supplier is company or individual or anything I don't think this one affects anything much except for the filtering so I'm going to choose just company and you should we'll explore this furthermore I guess in the future but let's just save right so right now you have the party okay cool so next stop is let's look at account real quick right so right now you can see that if you're paying someone then the money has to go from your assets and this asset is the cash account this one is already built when you create the software so you don't have to build it but this one can change according to the mode of payment Like, but then you have to link in the system. You have to make that setting beforehand. And also, when things are moving from cash account, it goes to the creditor. Okay, so the creditor is someone that we have to pay the money to. Creditor เจ้าหนี้ in Thai. Okay, so if we have creditor, we have to pay them the money, right? So that makes sense in that way. Okay. And then you can choose the amount that you want to pay that guy. Okay, I'm going to choose, I don't know, 500 baht or something. Okay, so that's it. That's how you pay someone in ERP Next. Let's just save and submit. Okay, it works. If it doesn't work, let me know. Okay. Again, I think it makes educational exercise if we always look at the ledger, which means what happened in your accounting according to this document. We're going to go to ledger. There's always a button right here that says that this document affects what in your accounting system. So I'm going to do ledgers, and as you can see that in your payment document, like it affects two things in the accounting system. First, your cash goes down, right? Credits mean go down. Make sense? You're losing assets, right? But when you're paying someone, actually your debt goes down too, right? If you're owing somebody money, if you pay them, then you are actually canceling the debt, right? So that's the effects of this one right here. So the creditors actually exist in the liability. So when the liability goes up, that means your debt goes down. Here's the confusing part. Let me just open the last time the accounting slide for you, just to make sure that you get what I mean, okay? So right here. I always look at here, this slide, right? So your creditor account falls into the liability type. So if you are decreasing, actually, if you are debiting the liability account, that means your debt decrease. So if you're paying somebody, your debt decreases. That's what's happening here. Okay, so it's a bit convoluted here because liability account, if it's negative, that means your debt increases. Okay. Yeah, this one take a bit of internalization, but trust me on this, right? If the liability account increases, that means your debt decrease. You're free of the debt. Okay, ไม่เป็นหนี้นะครับ. Okay, so that's what happened in the system. Okay. Okay, so next stop, you know how to pay someone, right? Let's work backward. We're gonna I guess we're gonna record the invoice, the payment invoice. So the purchase invoice. So the purchase invoice is something that you receive from the supplier. Like when you want to pay the supplier, they will give you first the invoice. In Thai ก็ is วางบิลเขาจะวางบิลให้เรานะครับ okay right so let's record that in the system. Okay, so I'm gonna go to purchase invoice. Less right here. Okay. Again, it's empty, which is so let's add new ones. Again, this one is the supplier that you're receiving the invoice from. Okay. So you only have one supplier, I guess, right? Supplier A, and you can say that you know what is the due date, and other information should be filled in most correctly. But the important thing is the item, right? Because remember, you are buying something from your supplier. So what are you buying, right? Let's say item. You should have some items. If you don't have item, then just create item. yeah, I guess we haven't really created any item yet. So let's create something, shall we? So when you create items, well, actually, I have a problem for you guys today, right? We're gonna buy pen. So let's create a pen, right? Okay, so pen, we do pen, right? And the item group, trust me on this, maybe it's a product, right? We'll explore other things later on, right? Let's say you buy pen and you want to sell it for profits, okay? This is the unit of measure. NOS is the number. It's a NO, which is the number. S is just the plural of that. And make sure you had maintained stock in here. We'll talk about this next time in more details. Save. And now you're buying pens, okay? And these are the amount of the pen that you want to buy. Let's say I want to buy 100 of them. Okay, 100, okay, like that. And rate is the price of your product, okay. So you can come up with the price, I don't know, I think one pen should cost about 10 baht, okay. So again, this is a document that you receive from your supplier, right? You don't create this for your supplier, you receive, but then you are recording this in the system, okay? All right, so we'll talk about other things later on. Let's just save and then submit, okay? Okay? Everybody good? Okay, so as you can see that if you receive invoice from someone, you are liable, you are obligated to pay. That's why if you haven't paid it yet, it says unpaid. Make sense? Right? You get invoice, you gotta pay the invoice, right? So if you wanna pay for this invoice, so before we go, let's just see what happened to our accounting system for now. We're gonna go to view and do accounting ledger. There you go, okay. Okay? So again, if you are receiving invoice from your supplier, that means you have debt. You gotta pay him, right? So if you look at the creditor again, right? You remember creditor is in the liability category. If the liability goes down, that means you have debt. If you look at the table that I just showed you, liability goes down, meaning that you have more debt. That's why the 1,000 goes on the credit side, right? But here's a kind of confusing part is that once this one goes down, something has to go up. And the thing that go up is actually this stock received but not billed account. Okay, this is the stock received but not billed account. It goes up, right? So this, I guess this function of this account is just kind of like a temporary account that says that if you're gonna pay someone, he's probably gonna give you this stock right now, but this stock hasn't been paid yet, so it's kind of live in this temporary account. So this one just facilitates the movement of the payment into the stock itself. Okay, so kind of complicated, I know, but this one it just kind of make the double accounting system works. Okay. All right, so I'm going to press back right now, and I'm going to pay. So let's just pay this invoice, right? One thing you can do easily is you can create and then payment. Okay, so let's create payment. And if you create payments, you can see that it jumps back into the payment entry, the document that you just create during our first iterations, right? But now, this one, everything is already filled in for you. See, pay, right? Supplier A, and the amount is $1,000, right? So again, this software make it much easier if you kind of work from left to right. So if you already have invoice and you want to pay him in full amount, then you just create payment entry and everything's already filled in for you. All you have to do is to just press saved. Oh, again, you gotta say how are you gonna pay. So let's pay cash, okay, like that, and then saved, and then save. So you're done, right? Mm-hmm. All right. So once you already pay, and if you already have the invoice that are linked to this, one cool thing is that if I go back to my purchase invoice list, right, you're going to see that now it's already paid. Okay. So I guess the benefit of creating the document, for example, the purchase invoice, even though it's something that you receive from your supplier, is that you can now tracking the process of payment, for example. So let me show you one other thing. Let's pay them into payments, right? You don't have to pay everything in full. So let's try that real quick, okay? So I'm going to do purchase invoice, and I'm going to do another suppliers. I guess same suppliers, right? And let's see, I'm going to have another set of pen, maybe 50, right? And this is the price. You can come up with any price. It's okay. I'm going to use the same one, right? So again, just creating another purchase invoice from this one. And I'm going to go saved. And I'm going to go submit. Okay. So let's make sure that you have the unpaid status at the top, right? ไปเร็วนะครับช่วยดูให้โอเคได้ยังครับ Alright, so this time we're gonna pay them 2 times. Alright, so let's pay them half of the amount that you gotta pay. So we're gonna create payment, right? But this time I want to pay only half of it, so 250. Okay, and then I'm gonna do saved, and then I'm gonna you have to say how you're gonna pay it. So cash, right? And then saved, and then submit. There you go. Okay, that's fine, right? And if you were to go back to your purchase invoice, okay, so it says partially paid, right? So like how much is the partial, right? You might be wondering, like if you say 50%, that would be great, right? Let's do that. I think we can go to this one. You see this, there's the 3 dots right here. And I think you can go to list settings. Okay, and you should be greeted with this pop-up windows. And what you want is actually you want to add a new field, add. And the one that I want it's a percentage of pay, I think, or amount or something. Or maybe I can do paid amount, like there. Okay, there are many I guess information you can choose, but let's do paid amount, right? And I'm gonna save right here, and let's save it and see what happened. Nothing happened. Let me try again. What did I do? Maybe I should do 5 because there's too many fields. So let me wait. Actually, I don't even have it here. So let me add again. I want to do paid amount. Okay, paid amount. Right here. See, so make sure that you have it somewhere in here, and you should be able to see it. It's 0. I don't know why. Hold on. It's weird. So maybe this is not the one that I want. I want I thought this one would work, but obviously it does not work yet. So let me just refresh one time, see? Okay. I'll get back to you about this because this one I didn't do it beforehand, so I just thought this one would work, but maybe paid amount is something else. But again, let's just make sure that you can pay the rest. So I'm gonna go to this purchase invoice again, and I can create another payment. And actually you can see that the system actually knows that you are missing another half right here. So if you do another payment entry, it's gonna pull in the remaining amounts for you. So it actually knows, but I didn't know what field I should get for that to show up. I'll look it up for you because I just do it on the fly, so it doesn't work on the fly, right? So let's just play in full, right? So when I do save, again, I have to pay cash, right? And then I'm gonna save and submit, right? Okay? If you were to pay the remaining amount, then if you go back to the purchase invoice, then you can see paid, right? So the system knows, but I'm not sure this one might be something else that the system records, okay? Let me just try one more, just do one more round. And if I cannot do it, then I will just do it outside class. But usually that's maybe total? Total? Not sure, total. Priceless project. If you can find it, let me know too. That will be my new the new things that I learned today from you guys. I'm looking for, like, if I pay, it should say 100% paid. Like last, you know, like the previously I wanted. Yeah, I want percentage. I know it has it. Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I'll look it up for you guys. Okay. I'm sure there's one. Like it would be weird if it doesn't have this percentage payment or something. Okay. Okay. So you should be. So right now we covered the payment entry, right, and then the purchase invoice. So let's do another thing. Is that this guy right here. So if we were to receive good, you know, delivery of good from your supplier, purchase receipt would be the one that you keep tracks of. Are you guys finding it?
I wanna pay this.
Partially paid? Okay, you have to pay also to go to payment?
Here.
Okay, and then it should bring up the rest of the money that you have to pay. So all you did just
And I can just go and save.
just create cash. Okay. 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 So we deal with money. Next, we'll take care of the inventory. Okay. So it's called purchase receipt. When you receive products from your supplier. So let's go to purchase receipt list right here. So the name is a little bit confusing, like this purchase invoice, purchase receipt, okay? Right here, purchase receipt. I'm going to add purchase receipt, okay? So new purchase receipt. Again, who are you getting the stuff from? Supplier A. And what's the delivery date? So you can do posting time and I guess delivery, okay, well, and this is the date, okay? And what are you getting, right? I'm getting pen again. I'm getting it for, I don't know how much you just pick up. Like these are the quantity that I receive, right? And the rate, I guess this one you can leave it whatever it is right now, it doesn't matter. And you can just do saved and then submit, okay? See, it's done, right? So this is the process of receiving the goods, right? And if I were to look at what this document affects the system, you're going to see that there are two things. It's actually accounting ledger and stock ledger. So these are the things that makes this software quite powerful because it actually keeps track of your inventory in the stock ledger. So we'll look at stock ledger next time, but this time we're going to go for accounting first. So let's look at what it does in our accounting system. See? So right now, it's kind of transferring the stocks that are somewhere into our assets. So first, things that easier to understand is this one, right? Stocks in hand. This one is the assets in our categories. So our assets increase, right? Actually, my mouse is blocking, right? So see, our assets increase by this amount, right? But then if this one is increasing, something else must go down. And the things that go down is actually this temporary account that I mentioned before. When you create the invoice, right, it creates this temporary place to take care of the stock values. This is what it is. Like when you actually receive the goods, it's actually transferring from this temporary account back into your assets. So that's how it takes care of the double accounting systems in here. Yeah. Sure, and that's what it is. Okay, so you got these three things right here taken care of. Actually, right now you're done with the purchase cycle, right? But then here's the thing: like if you only have these three documents, then it's kind of hard to kind of keep track of if you already pay in full amount or if you have already received everything you want. Right? So that's why there's another document that will keep track of these two processes, which are purchase order. Okay, so we'll see what purchase order does by making it, and then see what happens to the rest of the system. Okay, so let's go here. We're going to go to purchase order list. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add purchase order. Okay, so think about purchase order as the deal with your supplier. So let's say you call the supplier and say, hey, I'm going to buy pen for this much, and you got to deliver me by this date, or something like that, right? So I call supplier A, and then I'm going to say, hey, I need pen, right? And I want the pen to come today, if that's possible. And I want 100 of them. And the pen's gonna cost 12 baht. Okay, so you can put anything in here. It's okay. This is just the deal. Okay. And again, it includes like the kind of like the money sides and then the inventory sides in here. Okay. So let's just save it. Okay. And then submit it. Okay. So first, let's see what this document does to our system. First of all, there's actually no view button right here. So that means that actually you don't have to view any ledger. There's nothing that affects the system. So the thing about the purchase order is that it doesn't really affect the accounting system yet. This is just a deal. So you can cancel this deal, no problem. You can even update the deal if it changes. For example, if I were to call them later on, they call me and say, hey, actually some things changed, we're going to update it. For example, I don't know, the price change or the quantity change. Let's say they call me next day and say, hey, it's actually 14 baht, and I can update it right there. So there's no change. It doesn't affect the accounting system or the inventory in any way. So you can change the deal as much as you want, right? But then when the deal kind of goes through, you're going to have to go to two processes, right? The money path and the inventory path. So from the purchase order, you're going to go to here, right? You can see there are invoice and there are receipts. There's receipt and invoice. So that's the document that you just created just a moment ago. So let's go through the money path, right? So they're going to send us the invoice. So we create the purchase invoice, right? So again, this is the invoice. So normally, previously you have to fill in everything, right? The suppliers, the item, and the amount, right? But if you're creating from the purchase order, the deal, then it's already taken care of. So you don't have to do anything. You just press saved and then submit. See how easy it is? So the flow is actually to create purchase order first, and then everything else follows without you having to fill in anything, okay? So you got the invoice, right? Done. It said unpaid, okay? Again, I just want to let you know that the invoice is actually connected to the order, because if I go to this connection, you can see that the invoice connected to the purchase order, right? You can kind of go back and forth up the chain, right? I go back to the order, purchase order, right? I can come here to check my purchase order. If I go to my purchase order, I can go to connections, and I can move down to the invoice, right? So this is a way that I usually move up and down the documents if they're linked. So this is a nice way to kind of see the different documents that are linked to the one that you're looking at, okay? So I go to my invoice, right? And if I want to make a payment, then I can do create payment. Okay, like that. And again, if you only make one payment for the full price, then you don't have to do anything because the price already taken care of. The only thing you have to do is to say how are you going to pay it. So it's going to be cash. Okay, and then saved, right? Okay, again, if I want to go up to my purchase order, so that's 2 levels up. I can go to my, I guess this one you cannot. You can only go through the invoice first. Okay, so I'm go back to my invoice. I go back to my order. Okay, and you can see that the status changed to receive because we already paid it, but we haven't received anything. Okay. So now I go back to my purchase order. I wanna, if the goods come to my company, then I want to track that's receipt, right? So I want to go to order again, and this time I want to create the receipt. See, now you only had to create the receipt, right? That one. So now this is the delivery of the products, and again, it's already filled in, everything filled in for you. If you are receiving the full amount, not rejecting anything, there's actually the rejection process. That you can do if the things that arrive is not, I guess it's not complete or it's broken or something. But right now you can just do saved and submit. And now you're done, okay? Okay, if I can also go back to my purchase order again and see that it's completed, okay? Okay, I can show you that there are other. You can keep track of things that the amount that you pay and the amount that you received from here. This one you can go to list settings. This one I know because I do this many times. You can do list settings, and you can I guess press saved again. I don't know why it happened, but usually it should tell you that the amount bill is 100%. That means you already pay, right? And then actually there's one more, right? That should be the amount received. So let's put this one up a little bit, like that. See, that's what a percent bill and percent received. That means that your order is complete, right? So this one is nice because if you're the owner and you want to keep track of each of the purchase order, you can see, like the status and the graph right here to see if you are I guess if your employee has, complete all the process. Okay. All right. So let's just recap what we just did. Okay. What we just did is this process right here. So right here. Okay. And also the things that happen, I guess, in terms of accounting, it's right here. So let me just recap what happened in terms of the accounts and stuff like that. So first, you make the purchase order. The purchase order doesn't do anything to the accounting, right? But once you create the invoice, right? The invoice is this one, number one, right? When you create the invoice, you had debt, right? When you had debt, that means that your creditor goes down. So let's say you want to buy things for 10 baht. That means that your creditor has to go down by 10. Because if your creditor goes down like this, that means you have debt. It's a little bit strange in the system. But then if this goes down, this thing has to go up. This is the temporary accounts that I mentioned. It just keep it to take care of the double accounting systems. Right? That's the purchase invoice, right? But then next you are paying, so you are creating the payment entry. If you pay someone, that means that your bank account goes down, right? But then that amount has to goes up in the creditor. So if the creditor goes up, that means your debt goes down. So now you have no debt. This one cancel, right? If you already pay, that means you have no debt. Okay? And last thing is that if you are receiving your products, that means that your stock has to go up, right? But then if this go up, something has to go down. And what goes down is this temporary accounts right here. So it kind of balances everything out. And if you track everything, right, for example, from your bank account through all of this, right, in the end, you are going to be left with just this one right here. Right? So I want to show you that in the process of doing the complicated thing down, right, you can sum it up, and what's happening in the end is that one. So your bank account goes down, and your stock go up to balance it. Okay, so that's what actually happened in the systems. Okay. Okay. Let's just practice a little bit more. Okay, so I want you guys to buy more things, right? But this time, I want you to try to pay, different multiple times, and I want you to receive multiple times. Let's try that, okay? And you're gonna see that if you keep track of the purchase order, and if you pay partially the percent received, I guess if you can, how about this? If you make a purchase invoice, a purchase order, and then you make multiple invoices, and then you can also make multiple purchase receipts, okay? How about that, okay? And see what happened, okay? Okay, so let me recap what I want you guys to try, okay? So let's do this, okay? Exercise, right? Okay, so you want to buy pen, right? 10 buy 1,000 pen, okay? But then you wanna pay your supplier 2 times, so you're creating 2 invoice, right? And I guess one for, I don't know, like 500 pens each, right? So that means you're paying your supplier 2 times, right? And if you're paying them 2 times, that means the pen will arrive into deliveries. So that means you are do purchase receipt to purchase receipts, right? Something like that. So that will be something that more like if you are buying things in bulk, usually they don't come in one at the same time, depending on the availability of the products too. So let's do that. Okay, so you are receiving, again, maybe just make it a little more different. Like maybe you do like 400 pen, we'll do 400, and then do 600, something like that, so that you can see the difference, right? Okay, and then you can also receive these 2 deliveries, 400 pens, and then, okay, like that, okay? All right, so let me just do it real quick. So I'm going to go to purchase order, right? And I'm going to create a new order, supplier A. And I'm going to do pen for today, 1,000, right? 1,000, and then whatever price doesn't matter right now. Save and submit. Okay. So from here, I can do invoices. So because I want to make 2 invoices, so I'm going to create 1 invoice. But that one's only good for 400, right? And then saved, submit, right? So see, so right now it's unpaid. So let me just go back to the purchase order. And let's say if I only create an invoice for 400 pens, then that means that I haven't billed the complete amount yet. So I gotta bill some more. So I go to the order again and create another invoice that cover the rest of the bill amount. So 600 quantity, and I saved, and I submit, right? Right. If I were to go to the connection and go to the purchase order, you can see that now I have billed everyone, right? So some of you ask, like, if I want to keep track of the things that I already pay, one of the tricks is to go to the purchase invoice. You should be able to see which invoice hasn't been paid yet. For example, so right now, take a notice that if you already have the filter on, you might not see everything. So you just click X right here. You can see that there are unpaid invoices in here. Or the other way is to actually go to the supplier itself. I can go to supplier list. So this one I haven't told you before. Actually, the supply that you just created, you can go to supplier list, right? This guy right here. And you can go to dashboard, and you can say that this guy, gotta pay him. Or actually, this guy is a bill amount. So there are many ways you can go to. And then also, these are the kind of like the documents that are relating to this supplier. So you can go through your document from this connections too. So there are many ways that you can access the information, right? Okay, so let me just go pay that guy real quick, right? So I'm going to do purchase. Let me show you another way that you can do. Okay, I want to do purchase. I'm going to do payment, right? I can create payment from the invoice, but I can also create the payment from here. I want to pay him, right? And I want to pay the supplier A, right? But I want to get everything from, wait, I have to go to pay from cash. Oh, actually I have to make the payment mode to cash, okay? And I should be able to create the, nope, this is not what I want. There's a way that I can fetch the payment from the invoice from this page, but it doesn't show it here. I don't wanna find it for you right here, so I'm just gonna go my usual route, which is to purchase invoice. Okay, sorry guys, I cannot find it, so I'm gonna do it the normal way. So I'm gonna go here, and then create the payment, and usually just have to say what type of payment you want. Cash, done. Submit, right? Okay, so one's taken care of. If you already paid the other one, then you can do this one right here and create another payment, right? Go to cash and saved. Okay, submit. Now you're done. Okay, so right now you're taking your money is taken care of, but now you are waiting for the delivery of the products. So again, go back to your purchase order. Okay, and now you can see that we already bill. I guess we take care of the bill, right? But then we need to receive the products. So go here and create the purchase receipt. So if we already get the product, we create this one, right? So let's say we received the one for 400, and we can save it and submit, right? And if I go to connections again, I can go to purchase order, and I can see that I received 400. All right, so then I'm going to receive the rest. So create another purchase receipt, and then the system kind of bring the remaining amount right here. So I can just do save and submit. Okay, so that kind of completes my purchase order, right? So as the business owner, the thing that you might want to check really, really frequently is this page right here to see if your order is taken care of or not, okay? And also, if you're curious, you can also go to the buying modules right here and look at some of the dashboard that they provide to see some of the analytics. For example, the trends, right? And if you scroll down, you can also see the key reports. You can start to see that this system is kind of useful because once you have lots of information, then that list page is going to be too cluttered, right? But you know, like purchase analytics is something you might want to look at as the business owner. So, something like that, right? You can see that you have now supplier A, do that, right? And then you know, summation of all the purchase in a month. And then if you have lots of data, then you can see the graph coming up, something like that. So that's something that you know, quite nice about ERP Next is that like right out of the box, they already have a lot of analytics for you already, and you can create more. And if we have time, then we'll go through some of them. Okay.